Hey Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot. So I wanted to do a read on our solar eclipse on March 29th. Now, March 29th is an extremely cool day, astrologically speaking. So check out the weekend read if you haven't seen it, or stay tuned. I'm not sure which one I'm going to release first. But before we begin, I just wanted to say thank you guys to each and every one of you for all the ways that you lift this channel up. Truly, it means the world. Each one of you make a difference, and I love you back. So, as I was saying, on March 29th, we have our first solar eclipse of the year. It'll be a partial solar eclipse, and it'll also be in Aries. And so with that Aries energy, it ignites a wave of bold transformations, ushering in new beginnings. And it signals the start, really, of a 6-month cycle of change that brings newfound clarity as well as ambition. And most importantly, it signals a change. It starts the 6-month cycle with fated shifts. And so this eclipse aligns with Pluto's transformative energy, encouraging us with self-discovery as well as reinvention. But keep in mind as well, Mercury and Venus, thank you, are still in retrograde and they're still in play. And so this solar eclipse is actually more about a time to reflect, to recalibrate. And so patience really is advised during this time. So with solar, thank you, oh my goodness. So with solar eclipses, they typically, thank you, oh my goodness. They typically introduce unexpected shifts. In this case for Virgos, it's about fated shifts. And I'm not necessarily sure that, I think I remember the order here. Okay. So just taking a peek at what flew out here right away, because the cards are talking with this energy. So as I was saying, the solar eclipse here is about making space for introspection rather than setting firm intentions. This is where with this solar eclipse, it ushers in a wave not only of bold transformations, fated shifts, but it's a creative spark that ignites not only with your drive, but also with your inspiration. It has a lot to do focused on good news coming in for Virgos, as well as the potential of romance. Because the sun, which, like I say, March 29th is this amazing day. 9 planets align, 6 are in conjunction in Pisces. The sun is one of them. And so it really affects our 7th house, which is our house of relationships. Don't be surprised if romance also plays a little bit of a role here at this time as well. But this is where you're looking at gaining new skills, gaining education, learning, dedicating yourself towards that transformation, towards that new beginning, but also towards that energy that really allows us to let go of outdated ambitions and instead lean towards new aspirations. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because like I say, this is the first solar eclipse of 2025. March 29th, I've heard it put as that some astrologers say that it's the most important day of 2025, important day of the year. And with this solar eclipse, expect fated shifts. It introduces us in a time where sorry, I've got Charlie down below here. I was trying to distract a little bit and say hi. So anyway, Charlie says hi. But with the solar eclipse, typically they introduce unexpected shifts. For us, it's going to be fated shifts. But this one suggests that rather than rushing into new ventures, it's a time to reevaluate goals, release outdated ambitions, and instead embrace personal growth, embrace new aspirations. And so this is where if you had a lot of options before, you weren't sure of which way to go, this is where the path is ignited. You know what your beginning is. And this is the time to really reflect, reevaluate those goals, and release the outdated ambitions, but instead embrace that personal growth that leads towards igniting new aspirations. It's a time of really coming together, particularly with it affecting your 7th house, your house of relationships, of coming together, of calling in the right partners, but also too looking at how you really share yourself with others emotionally, physically and financially. It's where you're truly looking at your investments. And so, like I was saying here before, if you do color therapy, I know I promote it through every read, but this is a time really to utilize color therapy in the ways of reds and also of golds. And so it symbolizes affirming and clearing out old cycles and igniting those new aspirations so that you can clean out what no longer serves you, clean out, recalibrate, reflect, and then also to move towards new creations. And so for Virgos in particular, this solar eclipse really is all about financial and emotional growth. It brings a financial shift, a deeper emotional clarity that allows us to really walk towards our new beginnings with clarity and ambition. And what first fell out here right away is the Two of Cups. This is where you're finding balance. You're calling in the relationships that bring harmony, that foster romance, partnerships that foster friendships first, but bring a peace and contentment. And I will say too, this March 29th, not only do we have 9 planets aligned, including our north and our south nodes, we also have a new moon, which happens to be a supermoon, all in Aries. And so for Virgos, that brings a shift in a merge of energy in how we basically lead ourselves in love, business, and finances. Now, like I say, north and south nodes are also going to be impacted during this and awakened at this time. And so with Lilith, our south node in Virgo as well, this ignites and invites us to claim our autonomy over our bodies and over our desires and choices. And so it urges us to release conditioning that tells us to be smaller and tells us to be quieter, but instead awakens a self-sovereignty in owning every part of us, every part of who we are, unfiltered, untamed, and unapologetically us. And if that resonates, by all means, share your thoughts in the comments below. Put a heart in the comments below, because this is where you are coming into a point of stability, a point of community, and a point of family. It brings clarity and confidence that will be needed in the months to come, because again, this is the start of a 6-month cycle of change. But this is where your hard work will be rewarded with the 10 of coins. And so, like I said before, we also still have Venus and Mercury still in retrograde. And so this energy between the new moon, between the solar eclipse, between the alignments of the planets on March 29th, expect this energy to really carry us for the last 2 weeks of March into the first 2 weeks of April. And so with those retrogrades in play as well, it's important to really utilize the energy again for introspection rather than setting firm intentions. And so avoid making major financial commitments during this time. And instead, it's a time to really look at reevaluating them so that you can move away from the norms, move away from deceptions or ulterior motives, and instead utilize the Utilize the energies, both the polarities, the positives and the negatives, the north and the south nodes. Utilize that Virgoan energy to shine light through introspection on the shadows, on the moon energy as well, to really call in what's meant for you, because you're going to need this energy. You're going to have a lot of change coming in the next 6 months, and this is the beginning. This marks the start of fated shifts. And so, like I said as well, we also have that supermoon. It brings us a focus to know where, and to define really rather, where we stand when it comes to relationships and partnerships. It also gives us the energy to voice our desires, to no longer be quiet, but instead, like how I would best put it is that it's basically standing in your energy, your high priestess energy, and no longer settling for less than what you deserve. This is where if you had clashes of ambitions, chaos, competition, envy, or just a lack of unity where you were walking alone, really truly holding on to something from the past, outdated ambitions, this is the time to release those and walk forward with this solar eclipse with that extra flair towards the emotional and financial growth that will be needed, because this change is coming and it will impact you, like I say, for the next 6 months. Now, with the lunar aspects as well, This will also pull your focus, toward financial management or towards financial matters, really, especially regarding a payout or a settlement or investment that is finally ready to arrive with this new moon on the 29th as well. So between that and the solar eclipse, it brings the focus, like I was saying before, of fated shifts to the forefront. If you weren't sure which way to go before, this is where you have the path enlightened. You have newfound clarity that sets the stage for your ambition, that carries you towards success, material success, lasting wealth, prosperity, but also with relationships. It sets that foundation of stability towards family achievements, business partners, in a way that really sets you up for a contentment, I guess is where I'm coming, or what I'm coming into the most, that allows you to really stand for what is truly meant for you rather than settling for what chooses you. It kind of brings to mind, especially when it comes to relationships, where a wise woman once told me or said to me, there are so many partners that are wrong for you that choose you. It's important for you to choose the right partner for you in life. And that's the partner that really brings that Libran energy of stability, the duality, the balance in your partnerships that embrace the polarities, as well as the polarity of really looking at risk analysis with your choices, with your decisions, with your actions. And so it promotes coming to the table with looking at that risk analysis with emotional intelligence, particularly with who you're calling in, who you're working with, but especially with that Aries energy on the solar eclipse piece. It represents a sense of self and life path. And so if you weren't sure which way to go, which was going to lead towards your success, towards that north node of that Virgoan energy, this allows you to not only use your intuition, but also to come to the table in a way that brings clarity where there was once confusion. And it's a new beginning, basically. And this is where you're walking without regret. You're embracing that Lilith aspect too in Virgo, where you're being unapologetically you, unfiltered, untamed, no longer sacrificing your own needs for the sake of others, but instead doing what's best for you, which is going towards what's meant for you. And if that resonates, by all means, share your story, put a heart in the comments below, because what I am seeing here is you've encountered a lot of unequal hardships in relationships, unfairness possibly in the past here as well, looked at a lot of financial debt. This is where that is making way. This is where instead that Aries energy is coming in and we're getting to the root of all the issues, letting go of what no longer serves us, letting go of outdated aspirations, and instead take the steps needed to ensure that we take care of our foundations, take care of basically looking at our spiritual faith, our creativity, and honoring that within us, and walking towards new projects, new plans that align with our authentic identity, being unapologetically untamed and unfiltered as us. And if that resonates, by all means, like, share, and subscribe. Help support this channel, because truly this channel is only here because of each and every one of you, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you as well. Now, during this time as well, this solar eclipse really, because it affects so much with our 7th house, and it affects so much with the new moon when it comes to Lilith being in Virgo, it's a time for us Virgos to open up. It's a time where we're looking at our desires, we're looking at our career, and it presents a great shift that leads towards either a physical or a figurative trip. And that fated shift, that fated trip, whether it be physical or figuratively, leads us towards money, towards success, and this is your personal choice. This is where it is the time with the solar eclipse when you align your north node and your south node. You align your chakras to really call in what's meant for you, to meditate on what you see, to really meditate on your manifestations through visualization, and ask yourself, where does your imagination, your life's purpose take you? What wisdom does it share with you? What strengths are you known for? And is your highest self known for? Now is the time to embrace these qualities and step into your greatness, because love is your strength. Leadership is your path. Your wisdom is what inspires the world, and you can overcome any problem. You can naturally and easily achieve success. And with this solar eclipse, this marks the start of a 6-month cycle, of change. And you're going to need your energy. Like I say, it brings ambition and also, more importantly, new clarity, newfound clarity. And so, Spirit, give us a few more oracle messages here for us before we go. What additional messages do you have for us? Thank you, Spirit. So during the solar eclipse, especially as you're aligning your chakras and you're practicing your meditation, cleansing out old ambitions that are outdated and instead embracing that personal growth that leads towards new aspirations, this is the time to bet on yourself and to take chances. Spirit wants you to reach for your dreams and wants you to know you've got this. I'm just saying, I've got goosebumps and I absolutely love it. And so, like I say, I truly hope that this reading helps. I am sending you so much love and light. Happy solar eclipse, and I will see you in the next reading.